How many of y'all, as you were growing up, had a superhero?
Oh yeah.
Superheroes are awesome, aren't they?
Wonder Woman.
Superheroes can do unhumanly things, can't they? Now, my favorite one growing up, I was a Superman fan. Who likes Superman? Now, if y'all like Spider-Man, he had to put on like a whole thing. You know what? Superman was a deal because Superman needed two things. What did he need? He needed his cape. I'm Irish, so my cape's green. Alright? And the other thing he needed, telephone booth. Now I know you young ones, and I'm talking young like 19 and 20. Y'all don't know what a telephone booth is, do you? They get in there and get claustrophobic. They're like, now, a telephone booth was a cool thing, man, because that's how we got hold of Mom and Dad when we was out doing things we shouldn't do when we had to check in and call in. And you're all standing there staring at me, which one you got a dime? Now, I'm curious, did anybody ever do this one too? Because again, I'm 50, I'm going to show my age, but there was a cool trick. You go into the telephone booth. Operator, I lost all my money, I got to get more of my car again. Could you please put me through into an emergency? Yeah, no, I'm doing fine, I'm just checking in with you. And y'all do that? Who did that other than me? Okay, a couple of them. How about the one where you put the money in and you just try to say a word fast enough and hang up so the money comes back out? I'm okay. I didn't do it fast. But the problem with superheroes, there is a problem with superheroes. They're not real. Man, I was crushed when I found out Superman wasn't real. I was crushed at it. When I was a little kid, I used to run around the house and my dad would be here and I would be here and I would say, Dad, catch me. And did he catch me? Yeah. A couple times he didn't, but most of the time he would catch me. Well, one time I was in the other room and I'm standing on top of the dresser and I knew that I could fly because I flew to my dad every single time. Well, I jumped off the dresser. Dad was not around. I sunk like a weight and broke my little arm. If I was Superman, my arm wouldn't have broken. Kryptonite would have been my only problem. But reality sets in at a certain age when you find out that your superheroes can no longer be your superheroes. But for some reason, we get new superheroes, don't we? And they're people sometimes. And I hate to say it, for some of them it might be Britney Spears at some point. Yeah. Don't act like your daughter didn't dress up. And half of y'all, how many Britneys in here? I know you named your daughter Brittany. You know, now you don't want to admit that's why you did it. But I mean, I'll be honest with you. My son's named Tim at the time. Tim the Two-Man Taylor was the hot lick. So I got a Tim. But then as I grew up, I had a new superhero. And my superhero, I used to go to the movies. Who would go to a movie just because somebody was playing in it? And I would go to that movie just to see my superhero. And I'm going to share my superhero with you. We got it then? This was my superhero.
Missed all that heavenly glory.
You didn't know Bruce Lee ever talked about heaven, did you?
You understand?
Now the rest of y'all put on your high heel shoes down, do some discoing. Coming up. A lot of you guys don't probably remember him, but it's Chuck Norris. It's next to come up. I used to love Chuck Norris too. He's a lot hairier back then. He was a lot younger. But I got news for you, Bruce Lee can beat up Chuck Norris. I don't want to break anybody's mind. Here you go. Come on, Chuck. Oh, come on, Chuck. No, oh no. Whoa, man. Woo. Chuck Norris was bad, but he wasn't bad enough to beat Bruce Lee. The problem with that, the hours, the days, And I never got this one did that quick either. The time that I spent practicing. For hours upon hours upon hours, I would stand in front of the mirror. And all I would do is this for hours. For hours. Because you know what? Bruce Lee was my hero. And I would do this for hours. And sometimes when I do this, I'd wonder if I ever had kids again. But in my mind, Bruce Lee was it. Now, how many of you guys would go to the movies and come out being Bruce Lee? What's his car? Bruce Lee always used to have a famous saying, too. He'd always think they'd have these guys. Who else watched Bruce Lee other than me? Cool, I'm glad we all like him. He'd go up and like the dude would be standing there and he'd go, wham! And the guy would break like 20 boards or he'd break 4 or 5 bricks. And Bruce Lee'd say, boys, don't hit back. Yeah. So all of a sudden,